And this is what we're going to do. Hey guys, welcome back to a live stream. Thanks for sticking around for all the previous problems for the people who are watching this live. If you're watching it in a replay, hopefully it looks and sounds good. Before I jump into anything, I just want to say that I am not a therapist. I'm an individual much like you guys who's gone through a very traumatic experience where I've developed tips and techniques that I've used to crawl my way out of a dark time that I hope to share with you to help you do the same. If that sounds like something that would be helpful for you, and you haven't already left because of all the other technical problems, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the bell notification so you don't miss a thing. Today's topic is going to be about feeling like you have to repeat what you're doing. I was chatting with someone earlier today, and this topic came up, and it reminded me of a problem that I had that you may also be having, where you get into this point to where you feel like you're supposed to do the same thing. It's like, well, I've done this all the time. I can't stop now. I have to keep doing the same thing. And what happens, or at least what I found to happen with me on this, is it trapped me to where I currently was because I felt like, well, I've done this for 2 decades or 3 decades. This is my core personality. I can't change. I can't change that because I don't know why I was thinking I couldn't change that. But that's the road I was going down. I felt that I've done this before. I have to do it again. I can't change it. The problem with that, like I just mentioned, is you get caught up in being stuck. And it gets you into this pattern of behavior where you're just doing the same thing over and over again. You can be in a mode to where you feel like you want to do something different. You want to break that cycle. You want to accomplish something different, but you end up being stuck. The key on this is whenever that happens, whenever you're doing that, is to and I know I say this a lot, but to take a pause, take a break, and just give yourself a moment. Give yourself a moment to think about what's going on, think about what you're doing, and ask yourself the question, why? Do I really have to do the same thing again? Can I insert a pattern interrupt to give me an opportunity to at least think about a different solution? Now, I'm talking a bit in abstract, and let me see if I can come up with a quick example. But typically, in my situation, it was more like I just felt that I had to do that. I couldn't change. You get used to doing a certain thing. You get used to doing it a certain way. I like routine. I like patterns. I like that. I get peace with that. I do this stupid thing when and I don't have a Starbucks coffee cup, but when I get a Starbucks drink, there's a seam on the thing. Well, typically this is what I do. The little sleeve that they give you, I line it up with the green logo. Then I line up the drink top where the hole is pointing straight with the logo. And then I can grab the cup and my fingers can feel the little notch on the sleeve and everything lines up. And for whatever crazy reason, that gives me some peace. It makes me feel a little calmer. It's actually kind of a bad example for what I'm trying to say. But what I'm saying is, it's kind of like that. You get in this mode to where you feel like you have to engage with the same people a certain way. You don't go a different route, or you don't say yes to doing things, or you don't try different experiences because you've never done it before, and you feel like you've already made that decision. That's what it is. It's like you feel like you made that decision. I decided 10 years ago that I'm always going to go left, so I have to go left. Well, no, you don't. You don't have to. All of us have the opportunity to take a pause and say, do I really want to go that direction? Like using the coffee analogy, yeah, I'm going to keep doing that because it makes me feel good. But if you're doing something that isn't helpful, or maybe you think, you know what, maybe I need to try something different. Maybe this isn't the best for me, and maybe I can do something a little different. But it's so tough whenever you feel like you're stuck. And for the people who are on this live, if this makes sense to you, if you've had this feeling, this situation, give me a 1 in the comments. I'd like to know if you guys think I'm completely off my rocker or if it actually makes sense. And as I do that, I will drink coffee out of my Woodbury University mug that my daughter gave me. Or maybe I bought it myself, but whatever. And it looks like, I don't even know if the chat's working. Is this working? Yeah. All right. Debbie says I'm on my rocker. All right, cool. I appreciate that. Thank you, Debbie. Hopefully everything's whatever. We were hanging out earlier today, and that was fun. Anyways, Committed to the Shift says reacting versus responding. And Angela says, yeah, we definitely want to hear from you. That's for sure. And I don't know if everything else is working. So what I'm going to say on this is all of us have an opportunity to change what we're going to do tomorrow. And it's really, really scary a lot of the times to insert something new, to insert the unknown. Like I mentioned before, a lot of us get in this mode to where we get comfortable with this pattern that we're doing, the pattern of behavior that we are doing. So changing that can be terrifying. I spent 2 decades in my marriage, our understanding for the most part that something wasn't quite right, but I stayed. And it went on and on and on. And when I got to the point that I was looking at it going, I can't do this anymore, I have to try something different, it was really tough to get to the point to where I could push the button, so to speak, and do that, to say, I deserve a chance. I deserve a chance for something different. This pattern of behavior, this pattern that I'm living doesn't have to keep going. And it was very scary. Very, very scary to do that. Thank you, Angela, for the super chat. It says, good to see and hear you. Thank you so very much, Duane, for everything. Thank you, Angela. I really appreciate that, especially with all the problems this live stream's been having. So thank you very much on that. Life is a Journey says it does create anxiety when you have a routine and your rhythms gets broken all of a sudden. See, and that's a good point too, right? Sometimes we're forced to make a change. Sometimes we have our routine, we're doing okay, and somebody else pulls the rug out from underneath us. Anytime we have to make a change, it's really hard to do. And that anxiety, and that's a really great point with what Life is a Journey was saying, is because that's exactly what I was talking about. The anxiety of making that decision, of deciding to try something different, was paralyzing. It was bad. And I mean, and even when I made the decision and pushed the button, so to speak, you know, I had a little bit of time where it was like, hey, this ain't so bad. I mean, woohoo, you know, I was feeling pretty good. And then the mask dropped and all hell broke loose. But even still, you know, I mean, then I started new patterns from there. And then I started doing other things. And I started meeting new people. And I started adding new things into my life, which what the minimal, the little things that I could do with the minimal funds and everything. But, you know, I made some new friends. I met some people who I made some really great connections with. And all of that happened because I started realizing that I didn't have to continually do the same thing over and over. I didn't have to repeat the same decisions. That I could do something different. That I wasn't tied to my past decisions, my past mistakes. And that's really, really the key on this. I'm just trying to read some of the comments. So, anyways, so I'd love to have a conversation with you guys about this. I know that the stream is still having some issues, So I may just have to pull this out and make this a standalone video if I can. And yeah, let's see. I'm trying to see. Anyways, so on that was the topic. I will try to salvage this, and I obviously have more work to do to figure out what in the world went wrong with that other configuration. So more testing will be required. So on that, guys, I am going to wrap this up because this has just been a little off, and I'm not. The comments aren't even coming through, so I don't know. On that, keep your fingers crossed that I can figure out how to do this next time, and I'll chat with you on the next video. Take care. Bye.